us in exchange a whole year of fasting. Let us not miss the opportunity. Let us not turn our back to the invitation of our generous and our honorable Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala, wanting to be generous to us, so we must accept the generosity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh my dear Muslims, the month of Ramadan has ended, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is everlasting and ever ending, and the true fruits of Ramadan will come after the month of Ramadan. Those who worship Ramadan, Ramadan has ended, and those who worship Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ever living and ever unending. And the relationship of the Muslim with the fasting is a special relationship. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, لِلصَّائِمِ فَرْحَتَانِ, the one who fasts will have two happiness. فَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ فُطْرِهِ, one happiness when the Muslim break the fast in Adhan al-Maghrib. وَفَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ لِقَاءِ رَبِّهِ, and a happiness when they meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment. This thirst that we feel when we are fasting, while the people are drinking around us, this food that we're not eating, our stomach crumbling in the day of the judgment, when the people are thirsty, when the sun is on the head of the people, Allah will remember that you were fasting for Him, and He will quench your thirst, where there is no one to quench the thirst except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on that day. You are hungry, Allah will feed you on that day. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أَشَدُّ النَّاسِ جُوعًا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, the most people will be starving in the day of judgment. أَكْثَرُهُمْ شَبَعًا فِي الدُّنْيَا, the ones who eat a lot and full all the time in the dunya. You fill the stomach all the time in the dunya, Allah will make you very hungry in the akhirah. And the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to be humble and to not fill the stomach and bloat the stomach with the food, because that will make us lazy and hold us back from our duties. My dear Muslims, we talked about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala differentiating between us only based on our piety. There were two kings. One king was in Baytul Maqdis in Jerusalem, and he was a pious, righteous king, fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So on one night praying Qiyamul Layl, and Qiyamul Layl is the basis of the Islam. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes down in the last third of the night asking, who among my servants is up praying, asking me for provision, I will give them the provision. Who is asking for forgiveness, I will give them the forgiveness. Who is asking for mercy, I will give them the mercy. In that time, only the chosen people, the people that are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, while the rest of mankind, their nose is on the pillow, they are standing up, praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Allah for reward, asking Allah for protection, asking Allah for success, and Allah granting it for them. So that king was praying late in the night on the top of his palace, and it was a full moon, so he was reflecting on his life in that peaceful, quiet time in the night. And he realized this kingdom is keeping him away from worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's too busy running the kingdom. He doesn't have time to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he decided to flee away, to give up the kingdom and to go somewhere far so he can have the proper time, so he can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he left the kingdom that people are fighting to become the kings. The people are killing each other, poisoning each other to become the king and have the power of the kingdom. This king this righteous king willfully, voluntarily gave it up and left so he can have free time, so he can worship Allah. He headed to a land where he knew nobody, and he saw the people building the towns with clay, with mud, with bricks. So he said, can you teach me? I want to work with you so I can make my money and sustain myself and pay for my food, my clothing, my shelter. So the people took him in. They are surprised. Such an elderly man, he doesn't know how to build bricks. It's like as if he had a soft life, a luxurious life. What is the story behind this man? Yet they saw that he was righteous in everything he did. He put his heart in his job. If you tell him build a wall, nobody will build this wall better than him. He does everything with sincerity and with all mindfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then he became the talk of the town. This righteous man doing his best at any task you assign to him. So now the king of that town heard. He said, who's this man that everyone talking about? Bring him to me. So the man was afraid. He said, the king wants me, maybe he will hurt me. So he was afraid. So the king said, I will go to him. The king went to him and he met him. He told him, don't be afraid. I will never hurt you. Just tell me your story. So he told him the story. I used to be the king of Baytul Maqdis, and I have realized that the kingdom took away from my time with Allah. I want the freedom to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the man said, Wallahi ma anta fi hajatin ila ma fa'altahu akthara minni. You are not in more need to what you have done than me. He said, me too. The kingdom made me too busy for Allah. Me